If you're thinking about moving into the Denver Metro North, there's some key things you need to know about the cost of living that we experience up here in the northern Denver metro area.
Yeah, today guys, we're gonna talk about kind of cost of living as a whole. We're gonna talk about healthcare, sales tax, different areas that are more expensive, and then Peter's gonna take you over to the map to finish this up and kind of show you the averages by city, which is super helpful when moving here.
Hey guys, how's it going? Your Colorado real estate family here, Pete and Chelsea Sweeney, to give you the lowdown on the cost of living in the Denver Metro North area. First things first, if you love these videos, we'd love to keep on doing them. Give us a ring. We love helping out brand new buyers relocating here from other states or whatever it might be. We are your northern Denver Metro experts when it comes to buying real estate. So give us a call below, Space Alliance Real Estate with EXP. First things we're going to talk about is the national average. So on national average, Colorado's about 12 points higher. There's a reason for that. Our cost of living is going up. It is. And also is our transportation. Our transportation is a little bit on the high end too. But you will save a little bit on your utilities, on your groceries. So where you kind of have the housing and transportation a little bit higher, you're going to save a little bit more on your groceries and utilities. Where utilities, you know, we're talking like gas and electric, you're looking around $156 on average per month per household.
So yeah, guys, one of the biggest things to know about Colorado is kind of when you're using your AC versus your heater. So here in Colorado, June to September, you're pretty much running the AC. You know, we in July and August sometimes get in the 90s recently, especially this last summer. It was a hot one. So, and then you kind of have this November to March where you're having, you know, pretty cold times. You're running the heater. And then we have those kind of flex, I call them like our flex months, because we have like October where it could be pretty warm. And then it could also be really cold. So you never really know what you're going to get. And then April and May, you know, it used to be like, gosh, years ago, we used to get a lot of rain, but we just haven't recently. And so a lot of people, they don't even plant flowers or anything until after Mother's Day because sometimes we get a big storm. So knowing when we're running the AC versus, you know, your heater obviously will take into account and kind of, you know, factor into what those utility costs are going to be.
Yeah, definitely that frost. It's one of those things. If you don't plant until after Mother's Day, your plants get killed by that frost. And so unfortunately it affects our trees and everything, but you know, it's Colorado. We're pretty unpredictable when it comes to weather here. So another key thing I wanted to know is we do have a state income tax. The state income tax currently is, I think, 4.55%, and it's actually down this year from, I believe it was 4.63% before. But we do have that state income tax for most states, you know, like Florida, Wyoming. They're not going to have that state income tax. So that's something to kind of factor in as well too. Our state sales tax is 2.9%, but each city, every different municipality is different in regards to what it's going to be. So it could range all the way up to 11% when it comes to that sales tax. When you're looking in the northern Denver metro area, kind of the cities we're talking about, Broomfield, Westminster, Thornton, you're looking at like anywhere between 8 and 10% is your sales tax when you're kind of shopping around in here and stuff. So that's kind of where we're at in regards to the two big ones.
So healthcare is a big one. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am a registered nurse here in Colorado. So healthcare is a big passion of mine, and healthcare costs a big concern for most people. How much does it cost based off state? So I will tell you that we are in the average for healthcare costs. So this is talking about your premium and your deductible is kind of the numbers that I use for this. And we're sitting right in the middle. So places like Nebraska, Arizona, Texas, in Oklahoma, they're all higher than us, right? So that normal where we're sitting is about 6,000 to 7,500. Those states are higher than us, whereas places like Wyoming, Utah, Kansas, and New Mexico are in the same spot as us. So we're really comparable to some of those smaller states like Kansas, or you know, not as big of cities, and whereas the other places are into that whole next tier. So we're not too, you know, far from the average there. The other thing too is doctor visits. So I looked up some average numbers just to make sure. A doctor visit is about $116 per visit, which I think is super affordable. Dentist about $100, and if for all you pet lovers out there, the veterinarian's about $55. So it's not crazy healthcare costs, but yet we still have some incredible healthcare. We have a lot of different hospitals, and I think we are pretty forward thinking when it comes to healthcare. So a lot of different options in that space.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different hospital systems coming in the northern Denver metro area. There's St. Anthony's North. Help me out here. You're the nurse.
Yeah, so we have Good Samaritan with the SCL system over in Lafayette. We have St. Anthony's North, that's with Centura. We have one out in Brighton, Platte Valley. That's also just got bought out by SCL, which is used to be the Exempla. And then, we have a Vista, which is another Centura hospital. So we do have some really big hospitals up here in Denver North Metro. And the St. Anthony's North is a brand new hospital, actually located right off I-25. It's beautiful, smaller, so you get that community kind of feel with the hospital, but right there, so right in the middle.
Yeah, definitely a little off topic, but something great to know that we have some great hospitals going up in and around the area in the Denver Metro North. So the biggest thing that I guess you're kind of thinking about is housing, right? What is housing like in regards to the Denver Metro North? We are a little bit lower. I think the best way to kind of reveal this is to bring it to a map and show you what cities and what areas I'm really talking about. But first things first is I want to cover something that's huge, and that's property taxes. So property taxes in the Denver Metro North, you're usually looking at around 0.7 to up to 1%. We do have something called a metro tax district, right? So essentially what it is these builders who are going in and building brand new homes is they take a municipality bond and they pass that on to the users or the buyers of the houses in the development. And so your taxes then go from 0.7 up to, I'd say about 1.2 to 1.4% in the Denver Metro North. Now it can get a little bit higher when you're going a little further south of Aurora, but that's usually what you're looking at. So your property taxes could potentially almost double because of that municipality bond, because of those metro tax districts. So something key that we really want to keep in mind when moving into the Denver Metro North area. So with that being said, let's go ahead and head over to the map, and I'm going to show you a few price points in cities that are around.
So as far as cost of living goes, I think it's important to understand the areas that are a little bit more expensive. So going specifically kind of north of I-70, which is our big highway going east and south here across Denver, focusing in the Denver North Metro area, you're going to have Arvada, you're going to have Westminster and Broomfield kind of on the west side, which, as far as cost of living goes, is a little on the higher side. That's kind of right below the mountains, and so it's a really desirable area. Then as you start going a little bit closer to kind of the midline of Denver North Metro, you're going to start seeing, kind of Federal Heights, which will go on the east side of I-25 as well as the west side. And then going north, you have in northeast, you kind of have Thornton, you have Brighton. All of those areas are actually a lot lower cost of living. Whereas, now we're starting to see kind of on the east side, Commerce City. We have some Commerce City, that's a little further south that's going to be it is pretty low on cost of living. And then now we have the new Commerce City going a little north of that, which is going to be a lot higher. This is all of your new development. So just because it says Commerce City doesn't mean that it's all low cost of living. It definitely has its kind of section where it's the older Commerce City versus the new Commerce City, which is a very big, significant difference in cost. So that's kind of a quick overview. Peter's going to be kind of talking a little bit about, specifically real estate by city, and he'll be able to use that map visual for you now.
So we kind of went over all the cities, all the different cities. So a few that I really wanted to go over, was kind of on the southern portion of Denver Metro North, is you got Arvada right here. And over the last year, a average price point of 501,328. Let me go and type that out for you real quick. So that's been Arvada. That's been the average price point sold over the last year, and that's up to January of 2021. You've got Westminster right here, where Westminster's average price point over the last year is 431,526. So a big reason for this is Arvada. It's definitely it's got a lot more character. It's a little bit older in regards to it has like a little old town and such. But then also a big thing about Arvada is it's closer to the mountains. So as you get closer to the mountains in Colorado, price points will typically go up. Westminster, of course, is a little bit further from the mountains. Let's also dive into Broomfield right here. So Broomfield's kind of a rare beast in its own. I consider it the gateway to Boulder, which I'll go over Boulder's numbers here soon, which will blow your mind. But Broomfield's kind of like the gateway to Boulder, where people want to live in Boulder, but they want to pay the price of living in Boulder. So in Broomfield, we have a price point of $559, $334. So that's Broomfield. And like I said, guys, this is the average price point of houses sold over the last year. And now that's attached and detached homes in the city. So just kind of give you a heads up on that. That's not single family. That's not condos. That's everything combined. Average houses sold in the city over the last year. So just throw a quick fun number out there. Boulder is killing it up there with the average price point of $906,020. Boulder has been insane in the amount of growth that they've had in their pricing over these last probably 5 to 10 years. It's just really grown a lot. It's kind of known on a national level. So Boulder, it's right in the mountains. The mountains are literally all right here. You have a ton of trails. It's right by the Flatirons. So really cool spot. But like you can see, you're definitely going to be paying for that Boulder-ness over there. Let's go ahead and dive over here. We'll go out east into Brighton. And Brighton's more of a, it has a lot of land. They have a lot of acreage lots and such. So if you want to be a little bit more spread out, you kind of wanted that, where you have horses or goats or whatever it might be. Brighton's a little bit higher because it has those acreage lots. And it's coming in right around an average price point of $459. $459. So, it's definitely a little bit lower than Broomfield and Arvada over here, but it's a little bit higher than Westminster, which is closer to the mountains. Like I said, a lot of the reason is because it has those acreage lots, right? It has the lots that are a lot more land and such, and it also has a lot of newer area too. So as you go along I-76 right here, you have a lot of newer builds up here near Loch Buoy and kind of northern Brighton. It's a lot more newer homes out there, and Brighton's actually doing quite a facelift in their downtown. So another one I really wanted to hit on right here is Thornton. Thornton is actually where we're from, or where we currently reside at. The price point here is right around $409,852. That's your average sold price point over the last year over here for Thornton. So that pretty much goes over the main cities that we're going to cover in the Denver Metro North. You have some of these smaller cities up in here. You have North Glen, Commerce City. Commerce City is a hard one because it has kind of this Adams City area where it's a lot of older, really small homes, kind of like an industrial area. And then you have the northern area up here. It's called Reunion. It's a newer development. So its price point comes in right just a little bit over 400. So it's lower than Thornton. But like I said, with that Reunion area, it would be a lot higher if we were just to account for that area right there. So that kind of shows you some price points in the areas. And then considering next to Denver, Denver's average price point of homes sold in the last year is $569,422. So you can see how all of these, excluding Boulder, of course, are lower price points than your Denver metro area. When you go a little bit more northern Denver metro area, you're looking at probably North Thornton up here when you're getting towards Highway 7, probably about a 30-minute drive from here going all the way down to get to downtown Denver. And of course, that's relying upon the traffic, what kind of traffic you're having. But the light rail station that we're having, it's going to be coming, it's spreading all the way out here and stuff. It's going through Westminster, going downtown Westminster, up through Broomfield, through the First Bank Center. So you have some different public transportation that you can use, but just to give you an idea of the price points of different cities in the area. So let's go ahead and hit on a few other things outside of the map.
All right, guys, it's time to wrap this up. So we went over a few things as far as affordability goes in the Colorado, Denver Metro North area. Hopefully we gave you enough insight to kind of think about. Like I said, as far as housing goes, yes, we are a little bit higher than the national average,
but we are also a very popular state to be in right now. We have a ton to do. We have the mountains, we have reservoirs, we have some great hiking, some great biking trails, a lot to do here, and it's become a very popular state. I remember back when I was flipping back in the day, like 2009, I was buying houses for like $40,000 a piece. Man, I wish I could go back and keep those ones, but you know what? It's just, this is a great state to be in. The affordability is here. If you guys have any questions in regards to moving to Colorado, the Denver Metro North area, give us a shout, give us a call on our number right now, whatever it might take. Reach out to us and we will get in touch right away. Have a great one, guys. We love you.